This is the first episode of the Kelp Diver Cast, and today we're going to be talking about some video games, preferably on PC or PS4, depending on which one you have, and talk about the experiences, basically, like what the game is and the experience. The first game is going to be Team Fortress 2, or as its player base, I might say, Team TF2. So TF2 is a first-person team shooter of where you have a team of combined of not exactly how many. I think it's like 40 is the maximum, but you have six classes in the game. You have the scout, you have the soldier, you have the demo man, you have the medic, the spy, the sniper, the pyro, and I believe that's all of them. That and for well since 2012 or 8, they've had that selection. And some people would say TF2 is dead figuratively, but the player base is still very very active, which all of us are still surprised. And I would say like my experience with it was has been good with it. It's been a long game. There's no story to it, so you can do whatever you want. You can customize in it. You can play games in it. The player base has made its own, like you could say, teams or matches or levels, whatever you want. It's a if I had to give it a 1 out of 10 rating, it would be a 9 or an 8, just because it's been a good game, but they haven't updated it in a couple months, maybe a year, I would say. Okay. Now, now the next game we're going to be talking about is a game called Brawlhalla, a game that's a little bit more, actually no, it's a lot more up to date. Brawlhalla is basically like uh, a comic looking or cartoon looking Street Fighter game almost, if you've ever played those. It's where you pick a character, you and their certain class either has a certain weapons like a spear, a sword, a cannon, a long sword, a rocket spear, anything kind of like that. And they've been updating it. I think it's been around for a couple years now. They're coming out with a new season and a couple new characters. But I would say it's it's a rage-inducing game, or just a game that you could play a couple rounds and get a little bit upset, if you might say. But you know, all it's a very competitive game, very very competitive. The only thing I would really change about it is it doesn't give you a set of movement, because the game is heavily based on movement, where you are at a certain point. If you're if you're more down, you might as well go up with an attack. If you're up, you might go down with attack, left to right, side to side. Diagonally, you could go in a circle. I think a couple times I've seen them become like black holes. But I would say, yeah, out of 10, it would be a 7 or 8. The only problem would be is there's no campaign, would which isn't even that bad. It's just the player base and the set of moves that they don't give you, and you have to learn on your own. The next game we're going to be talking about is a game that I would say not many people know. I've played it only once, and it is weird to say the least. The name is called Muck. Yes, Muck, like mud. It's a game where if you've ever played Minecraft or anything like that, You collect resources. Oh, excuse me. It's where you collect resources. You collect resources, defeat certain enemies, and try to get off the island, if you might say, and you fight the final boss. It's a very weird game. I don't know how to put it. That's the only words I could really say for it. But it's I don't know. It's a weird game. And the people who made it made some other games, which the other games have been more popular than Muck. But yeah, I out of 10, I would give it a 5. It's like a discount or dollar store version of Minecraft. Sorry, dry throat. Now, a game that's a little bit more popular is a little bit more, I would say weirder, less weirder than Muck, but still weird, called Roblox. This game is basically, it's not a game, it's a like a website. It's like Amazon. It's where you select certain games. You select certain games on it. It's its own platform in a way. Sorry. Okay. Where were we? Oh yeah. So Roblox would probably be. It's a website. It's like you go to it and then you pick that one game. And sorry, holy, this is gonna be a fun thing to edit. So, anyways, it's a game where you more or less just pick your own certainty. You know, there's certain people who make games about being a owner, a tycoon, like a restaurant owner, a store owner, a city mayor, or whatever. Then you have like shooters and role play games, and then you have just childish games, and you have scary games. Ugh, that was not fun. And they were just, to say the least, it's a good thing for new people who are new to computer, new to PC. It's where you introduce the very to online. It's an online heavy. But out of 10, I would give it a 10. Out of all of it, it's a good game. I love it. All of the people I've known, I've either had it or played it before, and I don't know. I don't really have anything kind of bad to say about it. The only thing I would really give as like criticism would be make it look better. But you know, it's a child's game, not something, not a work of art. Next game. Now, the next game, a little bit more uh PG, a little bit more first person shooting kind of thing, and a lot more better looking, but the player base isn't active as much. CS:GO, or it's called yeah, I think it's just called CS:GO. Or no, it's counter terrorists. So it's basically where there are two teams. It's like TF2. There's two teams of 6. Each team, there's the terrorists, which are trying to plant a bomb or whatever kind of bad thing you would think of, and the counter terrorists, which are the good guys who are trying to stop them. The game is very old. It is much more older than TF2, Team Fortress 2. The player base is metaphorically almost dead, and I've played it a couple times, and it's not the best game. It's very heavy on certain things. I would not recommend it if you wanted to play a very competitive game, or if you want to just get a game that everyone has and say you have it. But yeah, out of out of 10, I would give it a 5, a 4, a very low rating to say the least. It's it's not good. Now the final game, it's a game I haven't played, but I've seen lots of people play it. I've had feedback from my friends, from other people.